And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Wednesday, October 8th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company. Our guest host today, Tracy Pope.
Good morning, MJ, and hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Tracy Pope with Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, and I am just so honored to fill in for Coleman Walker while he is on special assignment. I hope you all are going to have a wonderful Wednesday, and we get Wednesday started off the right way with Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. And we have Bob McDonald with us this morning, President and CEO. Good morning to you, Bob.
Good morning, Tracy. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, and what's going on?
Yeah, we're doing great, and I was so excited when I called in this morning, and Billy told me you were going to be my guest host, and you will do a great job. You're on there so much. You know the routine, and you know how things go, and so I'm looking forward to listening to you more this morning after you and I complete, and I also want to say just a couple things. First, I know that when Robert has to fill in for me, there's been a number of times that you've been there for the program, and I appreciate. He tells me how kind you are to him, so thank you.
Well, I love seeing you and Robert out in the community, and I really appreciate your confidence with me this morning. You know, it's fairly easy for me to do my own program with Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. You know how it is with your Cedarstone commercial. It's routine, and I have to tell you, it took me a little research to try to come up with how to run the program this morning. It's harder than it seems, and I told MJ, I said, I hope I get a second chance, so my first run of show, will be okay.
Well, you're going to do great. You already are, and by the way, just want to say congratulations to Scott and his team over there at the hospital, and to you. Y'all are doing such a great job. We've always been fortunate to have good hospital care here in our community, but the job that Scott is doing and you and the rest of your team, and it's just outstanding. I hear such great comments in the circles that I work in of just how things have really come along and taking everything to the next level. So thank you for what y'all do, and congratulations for all the successes that you're having.
Well, thank you so much. We've been part of the Vanderbilt health system now for 6 years with our Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, and it's just been incredible for me to see the Vanderbilt culture, the quality and safety improvements, and just how we're thriving at the hospital. And we appreciate your trust and confidence in us, and we hope to spread that to our entire community. And we've seen that through our admission rates, our patient satisfaction scores. So we really appreciate you and everyone in the community supporting us.
Well, that's terrific. And if you will, please pass along my greetings to Scott, and also pass along greetings from Susan. Susan, as you know, worked for Scott for a couple of years, and she's just a big fan of his. So if you will, when you see him this morning, give him a hug for Susan.
Absolutely. And we sure do miss Susan. I know that she's enjoying retirement, but I know that we'd have her back anytime.
Well, you're nice. I'll be sure and pass that on. But I know we've just got a few minutes left, but just a couple of things real quick, if I may, Tracy. First, I want to just say thank you and congratulations to Bob Jacobs and our Mount Juliet team down there. Last weekend we hosted, and I think it's the second or third Mount Juliet pickleball tournament, and it took place at Charlie Daniels Park, and it was a terrific turnout. Everyone had a great time, very competitive, I'm told, and I don't do pickleball. I'm too old for that kind of thing, but I'm told it was just a very terrific organized event, and I want to thank Bob Jacobs, who heads up our Mount Juliet operation. I want to thank him and his team for the great work they did, and I know that we look forward to doing that again next year.
Yeah, Bob is the current president of our Rotary. We're in the same Rotary, Mount Juliet Noon Rotary, and he's doing a wonderful job, and he made announcements of how successful that event was, and we appreciate Cedarstone Bank for sponsoring that and allowing Bob and his leadership to just take a huge role.
Well, and I'm glad that you brought that up. I want to thank you also for how you've embraced Bob, and you've helped him get involved in the community down there. I know you were very helpful at him getting involved in Rotary and taking on that leadership role. I know that you've embraced him with the Chamber of Commerce when you were chairman, and you're still with your great activity there. I know that you've put your arm around Bob and you've showed him the way. So I thank you for doing that for us, Tracy.
Well, thank you so much for your kind words.
Well, I know we're probably almost through, so let me wrap up by talking about our checking account. We always finish by talking about our Simply Free checking account. It is free. It's free in every way. You get free checks if you still want to write checks. You get free electronic banking if you prefer to use technology for your banking. So it's a great account, and if you have an Cedarstone ATM card, you can use that at any ATM around the world, and we reimburse any third-party charges. So for listeners out there who do not currently bank with us, we invite them to come by and see us and let us talk about not only the Simply Free checking account, but all the other services that we have to offer.
Yes, and you have a wonderful website that's very interactive with your Simply Banking, Simply Better, with your interactive demo tools online and a video digital banking overview. So very helpful. And I know on your website that you can enjoy the online banking or the personal banking that you supply.
That's right.
All right. Well, I think that's...
Thanks, Tracy. You've got a great program coming up, and you're doing a great job. Go get them.
Okay. Well, you have a great one, and we'll do it again next week, Bob. And that is Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, Simple Banking, Simply Better. We are 11 minutes after the hour, and we now go to Rusty Richardson, Executive Director of Community Relations and External Affairs with Cumberland University. Good morning, Rusty.
Good morning, Tracy.
So we're excited to have you today. I know that you make a regular showing on Coleman Walker, and you have a guest with you today.
Yes, I do, and always great to be here. I wish Coleman is having a good time on his special assignment this week, but pleasure to be here with you. I do have a couple announcements to start with. When I was here last month, we didn't have the official census numbers yet for our fall enrollment, and those numbers are now official. And we're very happy to announce that we set a new record in our 184 years, the largest enrollment we've ever had. The number this year was 3,487, if I remember correctly. So that's the highest number we've ever had. So very pleased about that. It seems like only yesterday that we were starting the fall semester and students were returning, and suddenly we find out that this week is midterms. We're halfway through the semester.
Wow,
so,
it does fly by.
It does fly by, and students are studying hard and working hard on getting those midterm exams done and all that. Also, that puts some extra pressure on my guests and myself who teach classes. We have to turn in grades by Friday. So,
goodness.
Little work ahead of us on that.
Would you like to introduce your guest?
Yes, one more thing before I do that. The other big news at Cumberland, since the last time I was here, we have a new baseball coach. Our legendary baseball program that's gone on for so long. Well, we're pleased to welcome Alan Balmer as the new head coach of baseball. He came to us from Lewis Clark State University, which is one of the few programs in the country that has a better record than Cumberland has.
Oh, wow.
I think the same number of national championships, but more appearances in the World Series. Just a tremendous record. So we're delighted to welcome Alan to the Cumberland family.
Well, welcome, Alan. And I know that we have a wonderful tradition of baseball here at Cumberland University, so we look forward to seeing him. I guess they maybe have some fall games, but for sure in the spring.
Yes, absolutely. We'll have him on a guest shortly. So let me introduce my guest this morning. I'm pleased to bring Dr. Abby Pitts, a very good friend of mine and just one of the stars on the Cumberland campus of all the work she does. And she is the Executive Director of Student Support.
Well, welcome, Dr. Pitts.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
And you're the executive director of student support. Tell us a little bit about your role as student support.
Sure. So the office was established in 2018 as a way to provide support to our students as they're starting their journey at Cumberland. And we have been really blessed by the support at the university because we have been able to grow as we've identified student needs and kind of where their shortfalls are and how we can support those. So we are actually a team of 5 now. We've got academic coaches who provide not only academic advising, but they also provide additional support like study skills and time management skills to our students, especially our first year students. Oftentimes they come in and they don't really know what they don't know yet. And so we're able to pinpoint at different points in the semester, 3 weeks into the semester, at midterm, as Rusty alluded to, and we are able to reach out to those students and say, hey, you seem to be struggling. Is it just a matter of needing de-identified tutoring resources, or can we help on kind of a deeper level with student support and study skills and all of that? So it's a busy job and it is a fun job, and we just are really blessed to be able to work with students every day.
You know, having 2 recent college graduates myself, that support when you're in college is just, instrumental. And it's so exciting to hear that that's your focus and your passion and you have a team. Tell us about some of your teaching responsibilities.
So I am fortunate to be able to teach 2 classes every fall. I teach a first year seminar class, which every freshman is required to take. It's a full fall semester course where we talk about study and time management skills, but we also dive a little bit deeper. We start talking about critical thinking. We get to do a debate with them so that they can learn critical thinking and the research skills that they need, because so much of a debate isn't just arguing aside, but it's doing that thorough research that they're going to need for paper writing and other upper level classes as they progress with their degree. And then we also help them with things like learning how to register for classes the next semester, how to follow their program of study. So it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
Wonderful. Well, it is about that time. The program is brought to you by Cedarstone Bank, and more discussed after we go to a break right here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
Excellent. Thanks, Tracy. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. This all brought to you by Bates Ford. Get a battery installed in most vehicles, $199.95. Bates Ford, 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Trying to improve down Briley Parkway southbound right now from a couple of wrecks we had earlier. One near Ashland City Highway, another one closer to County Hospital Road, both in the Bordeaux area this morning. With these wrecks being cleared on Briley Parkway southbound. It's kind of heavier here in the last few minutes up through Antioch, with that volume right on schedule coming in from Murfreesboro on 24 westbound as it builds out of Wilson County. Now, especially through the Mount Juliet area, westbound I-40 headed on over into Hermitage. Hey, when you need dependable towing for your car or truck, call STR Towing and Recovery. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Simple banking, simply better. Since 2004, that's been our motto at Cedarstone Bank. I'm Bob McDonald. We know that financial decisions can sometimes be complicated, but that doesn't mean solutions have to be. Whether you're buying a new home, renovating your existing home, or buying a car, or maybe you're a business that needs to purchase equipment or the building you operate from, we have all the technology that will allow you to do your banking online or on the telephone, or you can come in one of our beautiful branches and say our great people. With locations in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Nashville, Cedarstone Bank. Simple banking, simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Cedar City RV, your destination for all things camping. Whether you're looking for travel trailers, fifth wheels, or anything in between, Cedar City RV has you covered. We proudly offer top brands like Forest River, Palomino, Rockwood, Coachman, and more. Plus, expert service after the sale to keep you on the road with confidence. Financing is available, making it easier than ever to start your next adventure. Visit us online at cedarcityrv.com or stop by our location at 1102 Sparta Pike in Lebanon to explore new and previously enjoyed models today.
We are back from our break. This is Tracy Pope, guest host for Coleman Walker while he's on special assignment. I'm here this morning with Rusty Richardson and Dr. Abby Pitts with Cumberland University, having some great conversations with Dr. Pitts in her position as Director of Student Support. We were just talking about your teaching responsibilities, and how about we transition to the importance of student retention? I know at the hospital we really focus on our retention with our employees, and I know that is instrumental with a university as well.
Sure. Yeah. So first to second year student retention is going to be the biggest indicator of graduation. And of course, we know when they start at Cumberland, our goal is to get them to graduation. And offering both associate's degrees and bachelor's degrees like we do at Cumberland, we really want to help identify with the students in their first year what their goals are. Do they plan on acquiring a bachelor's degree, and how can we make sure that Cumberland is the place that's their first place that they want to go? It's a much easier transition than transferring somewhere else. But just ultimately for the student success, we know kind of projections of earnings for the lifetime if you have a college degree versus if you do not. And so we want as many students as possible who start at Cumberland to kind of finish and have that opportunity to earn more for them and for their families over the course of their life.
Absolutely. I mean, that is so important. I know as parents, you want your children to succeed, and when they enter college, their adulthood, but at the same time, you know, supporting your child. I think you have an exciting announcement about a Title III federal grant.
We sure do. So we found out last week that Cumberland has been awarded the Title III grant, which is $2.3 million over the course of 5 years. And the purpose of that grant is to help increase student retention at Cumberland. And so we're going to be able to do some really cool things programmatically with that money. And we are also going to upgrade some of our classrooms, hopefully, and some of the teaching resources that we have to improve both the student experience in person in the classroom, but then also the online student experience, because online classes are growing quickly. The students' desire to go online for a degree is growing. And so we're really excited about the opportunities that we will have to better serve our students through these resources. So we're really, really, really excited about it.
That is very exciting. Are there more specific details that you could share on how the students will benefit?
Sure.
I know online, I think 5 years ago, our entire nation transitioned to virtual learning and working, and it is something that I think we've all adapted to. So I know that's very important to have that option if that's what they choose.
Yeah, so we are still ironing out specifics, but I think long term, we are hoping to be able to establish a studio to help faculty members better deliver an online education. So maybe polishing up the type of teaching tools that they have, some of the projects that they're able to do in an online degree format. We're looking at upgrading some of our classrooms with maybe some smart boards and some more technology in the classroom, and then maybe seeing how this learning lab that we're creating for faculty members, how students might be able to use it in some of their upper level classes for projects and deliverables that they can then use as they're about to graduate and make themselves more marketable, I guess, to employers. So we're really, really excited. I think it'll be great.
That is very exciting. A $2.5 million grant over 5 years to help support. That's very exciting. Rusty, do you have any other events?
Yes. Well, I want to go back to the retention for a minute, because part of the secret sauce of how Cumberland has been able to achieve year over year enrollment growth is one, very specific, directed enrollment services, getting students to come to Cumberland. But the second piece of that is the retention. It's one thing to get them to enroll, but if we're able to keep them and have that good retention from the first year to the second year, all that adds to that enrollment total. When Cumberland first went into the Tennessee Promise program, and we're very heavily involved with that. I don't remember how many students we have now that were Tennessee Promise this year, but 600, 800?
Between 700 and 800, I think, right. Yes.
When we compare our retention rates to other schools that accept Tennessee Promise and the community colleges, we almost always come out at the very top of that pile of the best retention rate for those first year to second year students. And of course, our hope is if we give them a good 2-year experience to get their associate's degree, that then they want to stay the 2 other years and receive their bachelor's. So all of it's very closely related and something that Abby and her team is always focused on. I need to brag on Abby a little bit because a whole lot actually. One of the other roles that she's filled in at Cumberland, every year we have to go, or every 10 years we have to go through a reaccreditation with our accrediting body. And Abby led the important part of that for our QEP, which is the Quality Enhancement Plan. And all of that was geared towards retention. We did that 5 years ago. Now we're at the 5-year interval where we have to do a 5-year report. She'll be reporting on that, and just a tremendous amount of work and effort that goes into that. And she is just absolutely the top on doing that type of project and working closely with her team. So
wow, well,
can't brag on her enough.
Thank you, Rusty.
I think she's blushing right now.
Yeah, I think so a little bit.
Well, they can see you on Facebook Live now. So,
and as she was saying with the freshman course that both she and I teach, because that hard transition going from high school to college, one of the biggest challenges they have is how they manage their time. Because in high school they had a very structured schedule, and suddenly they're in college and that schedule is not structured the way it was. They may have a class at 8 o'clock in the morning, much to their chagrin, and may not have another class till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And how do they fill that time? And so much of this course helps them with that time management. One of the fun exercises we do is we require them to do a 6-hour technology fast and then write a report on it.
Oh, wow.
How did they feel at the end of each hour of that 6 hours? And what's surprising when they write about that oftentimes is they feel like a weight's off their shoulders.
Oh, wow.
At first it's very difficult because some of them are spending 10 or 12 hours a day on their phone. But suddenly they're not feeling that pressure. Oh, I've got to see how many likes I have, or I've got to see the latest, greatest cat video, or all the things they spend their time on.
Well, and it's not accidental. This is very intentional, and it's just wonderful to hear you both talk about the focus on retention and helping students be successful.
And I think the benefit, Rusty, that you have probably seen, and I see as well, both with FSL and then kind of what our goal in our office is helping students establish a relationship with someone. And FSL is a really good place for students to establish a relationship with us as their faculty members, but then also their students, so that they have someone that they can turn to when things inevitably become difficult. And we might not have all the answers, but we can help them get to the place where they need the answers. And that's what we are trying to do in FSL, but then also with our office as well.
Wonderful. Anything else to add?
Well, we've got a number of upcoming events.
Okay.
We'll start talking about some of those real quickly. Actually, later today, we have a creative and professional writing seminar from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. That's open to the public. It'll be in Baird Chapel. Anyone can attend that. There's a whole panel. I think there are 7 panelists that are talking about creative and professional writing coming out of our creative writing program.
Wonderful.
On campus.
So when you say open to the public, is that our high school students joining, or just
no,
anyone in the
it's
public?
primarily college students, but
Okay.
anyone in the community, like many of our events, are welcome to come and
Gotcha.
attend that. Sit in on that. There's no cost to it. That at that time of the afternoon, parking's more available, so that's a good thing.
And what's the best way to know about these events? Is it following you on Facebook, or?
It's following on Facebook. It's following on the Cumberland website, because they're always posting the upcoming events. And in fact, just yesterday we had the library lecture series with Kim Hinton, an architect, a very successful architect in Nashville, talking about the architecture that he experienced in Egypt.
Wow.
It's just a fascinating library lecture series. And we're always trying to figure out ways to better promote that, to let the community know when those are, because they just so much to offer on those type lectures for people to come. And we also had a speaker on Monday night who was part of our drug-free Wilco grant funds in Chasco, talking about his journey from being a drug-addicted person to an Olympic coach. So there's all kinds of things like that going on. And, of course, there are sports of all sorts all the time. There are some weeks where we may have 20 or 30 different sporting events, and people can just check the website on that every week to find out which sports are coming up. And some of our teams are doing really well right now. Both men's and women's soccer are having great seasons. Women's volleyball is having a great season. Football, I had a week off this last Saturday, and we've got a big event coming up with them in a couple of weeks I'll talk about in just a second.
And I've also heard you really brag about your overall athletic GPA.
Yes, Ron Pavin and his team of coaches and support staff, when 800 athletes have a 3.2 cumulative GPA, that's pretty good.
That's impressive.
But it really goes back to his philosophy as the athletic director and the coaches that they are students first and athletes second.
Yeah.
Many schools tend to reverse that, but we're just so happy with what they're doing with that and their involvement in the community.
Yeah.
On October 17th, I know we're almost out of time, we have a ribbon cutting for the Paula Center for International Programs. October 25th is homecoming weekend. You'll see a lot about that on the website and things. And then on November 4th is one of our favorite days of the year. That's the colloquium, where students and faculty members get to present topics, either research topics or of interest topics. And we'll have on that day generally about 100 different options for people to choose from on different topics they may want to come and listen. And that, too, is open to the public.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we are so fortunate here in Wilson County to have Cumberland University, just part of our community, and thank you so much. And I think that we are about out of time, so it's been great being with you this morning, Rusty. Nice to meet you, Dr. Pitts. And that's part one of Coleman and Company, brought to you by Cedar Stone Bank. Simple banking, simply better. And more coming up right here on FM 98.9.
All right, Tracy, let's see what's happening on the roadways. This all brought to you by Absolute Kubota. Write it off the lot, write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still a bit busy over here on Briley Parkway southbound. It looks like it's in its cleanup stages on this last wreck. We have two separate ones over here on Briley Parkway. The last one's southbound at Ashland City Highway. Starting to really load up on 24 westbound, coming out of Murfreesboro and Rutherford County up through the Antioch area. Stein Dental Care in Nashville with over 355-star wonderful Google reviews. Call Stein Dental Care today in Nashville. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
On Saturday, October 25th from 10 to 2, Drug-Free Wilco, the Wilson County Sheriff's Office, Lebanon Police, and Mount Jit Police invite you to National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. Turn in unused medications at Gibbs Pharmacy, Walgreens on West Main, Three Forks Marketplace, or TriStar Mount Jit ER. Unused prescriptions can lead to poisoning, overdose, or misuse. Dispose of them safely and receive a free lot box from Drug-Free Wilco. This project is funded under contract with State of Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
Your Lebanon High football team is back on the field, and we're back in the booth. Join Donald Gann, Joe Gardner, and myself, John Boyce, as the Blue Devils hit the gridiron each week. Lebanon football is brought to you by Bates Ford, Burdine Supply, Fakes and Hooker, Kay Maynard with State Farm Insurance, Kenny Salas and the Salas Realty Group, Lebanon Police Chief Mike Justice, Wilson County Sheriff Robert Bryan, Shannon Speck Electric, Sports World, Rackley Roofing Company, Wilson Bank and Trust, and Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell. Next game for the Blue Devils will be October 17th against Green Hill.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is in a new location, 1746 West Main in Lebanon, across from Sports Village. Gregory Dental Group offers cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs.
No insurance? No problem. Call about the discount plan. Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322.
A cold front moves in today. We'll have cloudy skies this morning with some sunshine expected this afternoon. Highs in the lower 70s. Clear and cool for tonight. Lows around 50 and then mostly sunny on Thursday. Highs in the lower 70s. This weather forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. With your severe view forecast, I'm Drew Richards.
We welcome you to part 2 of Coleman and Company on a wonderful Wednesday morning. This is Tracy Pope with Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, filling in for Coleman Walker while he is on special assignment. It's time to talk to you about Cedar City RV, 1102 Sparta Pike. We're here with Mark Noble. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Fall is in the air, and it's an exciting time at Cedar City.
Yeah, it's a great time to go camping right now. Right through the summer, we were busy. This time, sometimes we slow down, but it seems that we've picked up. A lot of people have really picked up that fall is the best time to go camping. A lot of campgrounds, this is the time you want to have a fire. Nobody really wants to have a fire when it's 85 degrees in July. So, this is the best time to do that. We've got some winterization specials going on. We encourage people to get on the schedule with us for that, because there are people that are done camping. They're shutting their stuff down for the year, so we encourage you to get on the list for winterization. Go ahead and get on the schedule. We're going to also inspect your camper. We don't just winterize it, we also inspect it to make sure that the caulking and all that, so we can keep that maintained.
Mm-hmm. And Tennessee weather is always fun. How's the saying? If you don't like it today, wait till tomorrow. What time of the year do people typically winterize if they're trying to enjoy their fall camping?
You have a lot of people. They're going to watch the weather. We encourage you, don't wait too long, because if you wait and call us and go, hey, it's in 2 days, it's going to be freezing, I need to get my camper done. We can't really get you in a lot of times, because we're already. That schedule fills up real quick in 2 days. So we encourage people, if you know that typically you're done by November 1st, try to get in the end of October. If your last appointment, you're trying to stretch in November, you can hold out a little bit, but usually by mid-November, you need to have it winterized. You need to have that done. A lot of people winterize and then they'll de-winterize and, keep going back and forth depending on the weather, because like you said, Tennessee weather, it can be 70 degrees in December. We've seen it. It's 70 degrees in December, and it's still a good time to go camping, and 40 at night. Well, you can still go camping, and I've done that before at Cedars of Lebanon, So speaking of Cedars of Lebanon, I do want to encourage people, they have that Halloween thing usually every year where you can go out there and do trick-or-treating at Cedars of Lebanon. So a lot of people take their campers out there, dress up the stuff. So I do want to encourage people to do that. That's a good thing to do. A lot of campgrounds do that, believe it or not. So if you haven't thought about camping on Halloween, it's actually a good thing to do.
And that's on Halloween specifically, or is it a few days before, a few days?
That weekend, usually, the weekend of Halloween. So this year I think it falls on a Friday. So that whole weekend, most campgrounds will do something Halloween theme where kids can go around and
well, that's fun.
Trick-or-treating.
So Cedar City RV, you're a comprehensive business when it comes to all things RV, no pressure sales staff. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, we have a no pressure sales staff, also no commission sales staff. Usually when you put commissions with stuff, there is some pressure. People feel like, hey, I can't spend time with this person because they're not going to buy, so there's no direct attachment to that. We encourage you to come in. We unlock the campers every day. We encourage people to come in, browse. We've had people literally look for 2 years before they found the one that they wanted, but they just really wanted to just browse. Or some people are like, hey, what's new out there? I encourage that right now. We are getting in 8 to 10 campers a week right now. Some of my sales guys don't like it because they got to put them away every day, but, we're selling that many every week. We're selling 12, 15 a week right now, so we're getting in new models, different stuff. So I encourage, if you're thinking about buying next year, come now and take a look. Don't wait till next year to take a look. Figure out which one you want so you can put it on a list, already be ready to go next year, and figure out the ins and outs of what you do and don't want.
And you're open 7 days a week. You want to tell us about your hours?
Yeah, Monday through Friday, we're open from 8 to 5:30. Saturday, we're open from 9 to 4, and Sunday, we're open from 11 to 4. You can also visit us on our website 24 hours a day, cedarcityrv.com. That's a great place to get some information, browse the campers. We try to get pictures up in 48, 72 hours, just depending on how many come in. So there's a lot of pictures of stuff on there. We are family owned and operated. I think that makes a big difference because there's not many family owned and operated RV dealers left. The nice thing about that is we get to make a decision immediately. We're not going to drag you out. If you do have a problem, we can make that decision. So.
Well, and we invite everyone to visit your website, cedarcityrv.com. That's cedarcityrv.com. And they can reach you at 615-815-8650. I think that we have about run out of time, unless there's one thing you want to add.
Yeah, I do. I want to congratulate my son's softball team. They won the championship for Watertown Community League. So I want to congratulate them and thank Adam Petty, the coach, So that was good. I did miss the championship game. I was in Toledo racing, so I hate that I missed that. But I do want to congratulate them, and, that's a big accomplishment for anybody.
That is absolutely congratulations. Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
Right.
Mark, good to see you. That's Mark Noble with Cedar City RV, 1102 Sparta Pike, and we are now 20 minutes before the hour, and we welcome Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell, our guest this morning. Good morning, Mayor Bell.
Good morning, Tracy.
So you had a city council meeting last night. I know that you have a lot to discuss, a lot of updates, always a lot going on with Lebanon City.
Yeah. So, but first, now let me say this: you have come here better prepared than Coleman does.
Don't give away our secrets.
Well, our secret's on camera now. So, but also it's an honor to be here with you this morning. The chair of the next Phoenix Ball. So I know you're working hard on that. So
John and I just hope that we can follow in your footsteps and Nicole's and those that have come before us. Yes, we are truly honored. John's an alum, and we've been very involved with Cumberland with more than 20 years, a rich family history, and we appreciate your support.
Well, it's been a long time since Nicole and I chaired it, so it's
not that long.
There've been a lot of great balls since then, but I know yours is going to be great too. And then also, before I go into the city council meeting, I want to say that this past Sunday was Nicole's birthday, so I want to wish her a happy birthday officially on the radio.
Oh, happy birthday, Nicole!
Yeah, so I'm not sure she's listening. She may be working out this morning, but I just want to wish her happy birthday. We did have a city council meeting last night. There were a few things on the agenda I did want to touch on, and the first one is one of our longtime people, Stuart Lawson. Last night I announced his retirement.
I heard that.
Yeah, Stuart is our Commissioner of Finance, and he's worked in the city for 30 years. He was the accounting manager for a long time, and then before I took office, he was promoted to the Commissioner of Finance, and he and I have worked well together. We're all going to miss him. Stuart, he's what I like. He's a penny pincher. He really keeps an eye on things, and he's what's those saying? He's as tight as a bark on a tree. So so that's the kind of person that we need, and so we're going to have to do a search and find somebody to replace him, but we're going to look for somebody who has that same mentality. But really, Stuart has been great, and we're going to miss him.
Well, it sounds like 30 years. He's really a public servant and devoted his career to the city of Lebanon, and I know that he will truly be missed. Do you have a timeline of his retirement? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so he'll officially retire in January.
Okay.
So through our retirement system, once you announce your retirement, it's about a 3-month period that you continue, and so that gives us time to to look for someone else. He'll be part of that process, and we're not going to rush this one. This is important. This is a very important position, so we're going to make sure we get the right person. But it's going to be hard to replace Stuart. It really will.
And it sounded like he wants to really enjoy his retirement. Did I hear you say something about Bass Pro Shop, or I don't know?
Yeah,
he has some hobbies he wants to get into.
He's a big bass fisherman. He fishes in tournaments, and when I asked him if he's going to get a part-time job at some point, maybe work for an accounting firm, he said nope. If it's a part-time job, it'll be a Bass Pro Shop. So.
How fun!
Yeah.
How fun!
So there were a few other things on the agenda last night that I think people would find interesting. One is this affects a lot of families here in town. Last night we approved the contract for Lebanon youth football and cheer to play at the Lebanon Sports Complex.
Okay.
Now they've been playing there since it opened, but there is a contract we need to have in place with organizations such as the soccer league, and we do it for baseball as well. But so the council approved that last night, and so that just puts in the position that they're out there long term, and so it just kind of lays out the way it works, and so that was really important. But also on the agenda last night too was something that a lot of people probably don't think about our airport. Our Lebanon Municipal Airport is very busy. We have an airport commission that meets once a month. It really makes decisions concerning the airport. Now, anything that has to do with money or anything like that has to go through City Council. But, in operations, Heather Bay, she's our fixed base operator and runs day-to-day operations out there. But the commission really plays an important role in how that works. Well, the commission wanted to do an economic assessment of the airport and really put together a financial plan because it's getting bigger now. And so we really need to have something in place to let us know what value it has for us as a city, but also how it can function more efficiently. So last night, the City Council approved moving forward with that plan. And again, that's something that I know as we go through our day-to-day lives, people don't think about our airport, but it is really a big deal for us. We have 4 interstate exits, but we consider that our 5th interstate exit with the traffic that comes through there. And so this will help that airport move into the future. And really, there's a connection with the sports complex too, because one of the big things about the sports complex was getting the soccer fields off the airport property. For safety reasons, obviously, for kids and their families, but also that opens up more property for the airport to grow. So this is part of that as well.
Oh, that is one. Our airport is such an asset to the city of Lebanon. I know that when we talk about Lebanon and Wilson County, that just like Cumberland University, the airport is one of the additions. And I love this recap that we are doing this morning because even though I watched the city council meeting, that is not really my forte. Just trying to, and you go so fast approving these things, but having you here today to really dive into the details is so helpful. I know you have several more items on your list.
I do. One more thing, last night for the meeting as well is, that is opportunity for the public to come talk to the council and to me. And so last night we had people who live in the West End Station neighborhood, which is on the west side of town, talk about some issues with their developer. That neighborhood is towards the end of being finished, and there's basically punch list items that the developer has not finished. And so our engineering staff and development staff are working with that developer as hard as they can to get that done. And one of the things that I want to say about this is that this is not typical. Most people come in and they know their job is to finish out those punch list items. This developer has struggled. They're on their 7th construction manager over there. And I really feel like on this one, we're going to really have to take some serious steps to get these things done because there's some real issues over there. But it is something that we do. When developments are being built, obviously we know about the construction phase of it because we see it happening. But at the end, when you think it's finished, it's not really finished. And we have to make sure that happens. So we hold letters of credit on different developments, which is money that's held to ensure these things get done. If they do it, the money's released to them. If they don't, we can take that money and do it ourselves. So there are options out there, and I just want people to know that we do keep an eye on things like that.
Well, it looks like we are going to break. The program is brought to you by Cedar City RV, and more to discuss after a break right here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
Thanks, Tracy. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by Absolute Kubota. Ride it off the lot. Ride it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning, T-Dot. Was dealing with a minor wreck a few minutes ago over in Donaldson on 40 westbound near Briley Parkway, where it's already heavy trying to get through there. This time of the morning, passing BNA Airport, all that traffic flowing in right now behind it. In from Wilson County, especially coming from the Mount Juliet area, 24 is heavy westbound at Bell Road, Haywood Lane, all that traffic pushing in from Murfreesboro. When you need dependable towing for your car or truck, make sure you call STR Towing and Recovery right here in Middle Tennessee. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
Everyday Fiestas offers party rentals on everything you need for your special event. Birthdays, weddings, corporate events, they have you covered. Tables, chairs, tents, linens, dance floor, and so much more. Visit their new showroom in Lebanon at 713 East Main Street in the old Ferguson's building. Find them every day at fiestas.com or on Facebook. Everyday Fiestas offers party rentals that can transform your vision into a beautiful reality. Mention this ad to receive 10% off.
Good morning. We are back on the air. This is Tracy Pope filling in for Coleman Walker, and we are here with Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell, and we were just going over many highlights from the City Council meeting last night, and I just want to reiterate the details that you were talking about on West End Station and sort of the issues that you're having with Meritage Homes, the developer, which is not typical, but it was a great meeting last night to be able to hear the residents of West End Station. It sounds like they're voicing their concerns. The City Council is hearing their concerns, and you're going to be right there with them till the end.
We are, and I talked to them after the meeting, and it's always good for people to come out and talk to us. If there are issues out there that we don't know about, then it's tough for us to do something. But this is actually something we knew about. Our staff have been on top of this for a while now. This situation where the developer, for a while they'll fix a few things, then they'll stop. Then they'll fix a few things, then they'll stop. So, there's a lot of discussion last night about, what is the city's authority or power to make sure this gets done. And as I said before the break, the letter of credit is really the power we have. That's money that we're holding, or the bank is holding, and they're going to want that money back. So they'll get it done. We make sure they get it done, and if they don't, we'll figure out another way. But it will happen.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I know there's lots of other topics on your list.
Yeah, that's really it for what was on the agenda last night as far as voting. We had some carryover items from last year's budget we're still dealing with and things like that. But one thing I do want to talk about that I think people find interesting is a meeting that Sarah Haston and I had a few weeks ago, since the last time I was here. But Western Plaza, which is where Ross and Ulta and Marshalls, all those stores are, has been here for a long time. Most people know it used to be Kmart. Kroger was there at one time, and they had a Martin Triple movie theater there. So Roy Drinkard, who owns that property, has owned it from day one, came to see us, and he's 105. And he came to visit us. Yeah, he came.
No.
He lives in Alabama, and he came to visit us.
And he is 105 years old.
He's 105, and so and the reason he came was because for a few things. One was some things he wanted to talk about, but we have some things we want to talk about as well. And one is that area is really popular now, more popular than it's probably been in its entire history. And we really have some issues with the way the parking lot is laid out. And so we want to talk to them about redesigning that parking lot for more safety and efficiency in there. And it's not just where some things need to be painted and restriped, but also truly redesigned with maybe some of the angles of the parking spaces. So we talked about that, and they agreed to make those changes. And we also talked to them about the facades of the buildings towards the west, like TSC in that direction, because you have one end that's been really fixed up and looks great, and the other end still looks older. And so they're going to start working on those facades to make sure that the entire thing matches. And so that was part of the conversation that we had with them.
And for those of us that don't really know how all of this works, so TSC just leases the space from the owner?
So the Drinkards, they own the entire property, and so everything that's in there leases from them.
Gotcha.
Arby's, Wendy's, Firehouse Subs, all those, anything in their leases from this property owner.
Okay.
And they own properties throughout the Southeast. But yeah, Mr. Drinker, he's 105, and he came to see us. And
wow.
He still goes to work every day.
We need to know his secret. Did you get a secret as to how you're so active and successful at 105?
I've talked to him several times, and the thing that's interesting is that he still remembers when it was first built, as far as, he worked with Lebanon Bank and Bob Van Hoosier and Ada Midget, who worked for Bob, and he talked about all that, and he's a really interesting man to talk to.
I bet.
So I was glad to see him here, but I'm also glad to see what he's doing, the changes they're going to make, because they need to be made. As I said, that's a popular area now. We're thrilled those stores are here. But there's a few things they need to work on, and they're going to do that.
Mm-hmm. You're right. I'm a frequent visitor of Ulta these days. It's really nice to have that down the street. And sometimes it is a guessing game in the parking lot on who's going, when you're going, and you just hope the other person is playing the same game you are.
That's right. Yeah. And there are a few other changes they want to make too. They want to bring a couple more eateries in there.
Oh.
And so they're looking at maybe some redesigns to make that happen as well. So there are a lot of things going to be happening there, I think.
I think it's so funny, those of us that live on that end of the town, like you and Nicole, when I think about going to the other end of the town, I'm like, it's kind of a little far. I'm just going to stay on this end.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to have the options that we have these days with Aubrey's and Firehouse Subs and some of the, restaurants that have been there for a while.
It is. And I grew up out there, and I can remember when the Western Plaza was first built and how big of a deal that was, because that end of town got something. And it's really interesting to see how more things are coming to that side, and it's great. But we are working hard to bring things like that to all sides. The north side needs things like that. The east side does as well. And so Sarah's working hard to make that happen. I am too. And but it's a process, and we're working on it.
Yeah. Would you like to touch on the construction of our historic town square and the Northwest Quadrant Park that you've talked about in your...
Yeah, we could talk about that. Actually, there's a couple things going on right now. In the Northeast Quadrant, there's work being done on the alleyways back there. We're replacing a lot of the sewer lines and water lines back there. And so if you're working that area, I was back in there yesterday with Lee Clark, who handles our public works department. It's all gravelly back there, but so it looks like it's almost complete. So we're glad to see that happening.
And you said that's the northeast portion? Okay, over there by Demeter's.
Yeah,
okay.
So it's all back in there.
I've always wondered when I park on that side if there's an alleyway to get to the square instead of walking all the way around. I didn't know if that was an option.
You can't get through there. No, you can't get through there. And what's interesting is all those alleys are privately owned.
Oh, wow.
So they're not our property as a city. They belong to the people there. But we were able to get back here and work, but there's no way through unless somebody opens up their back door.
Well, maybe that's a seed we need to plant, huh?
That could be. But yeah, over in the northwest or the quadrant, right there where the cabin is, we have approved bids. The bids are out now for contractors to look at it and to bring something to us to really redesign that entire area. There's a lot of people in the square now. The square is very updated as far as our restaurants and shops, and we're really looking for an area where there's more green space, where people can sit, maybe eat there. Also, a space where for events like Rock the Block, so we can put our stage there. So instead of taking up parking all day just up for an event, we can set it up in that park.
Oh,
and then not take up anything else. So so the design was done. The city council looked at it. They liked it. They approved to start the bid process. Now we're waiting for those bids to come in. But really, it's an area over there that is an area where kids can play games, where people can sit and eat. A more beautified area, and on our square, there's really not much green space, and in the middle there is, but you can't get to the middle. So we feel like this is something that'll add a lot to the square. it does mean moving the cabin.
I was wondering.
It does mean moving the cabin. We've talked about, with Fiddler's Grove about putting it there. We were also going to contact the family where the cabin first came from to see maybe if they would like to do something with it, take it back.
And I'm not really sure in the history, but was that a project from Historic Lebanon? I think maybe my husband was involved in that many years ago.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I know what happened when Don Fox was mayor.
Okay.
And that cabin is designed to represent Nettie Jacobs, the first, who first settled this area where Lebanon is now. But that cabin really isn't that cabin. This cabin came from the Leeville community.
Oh, okay.
And so it is historic, in that sense of the Leeville area. But as far as representing what Nettie Jacobs did, I actually had somebody who's very prominent in town who told me they know where Nettie Jacobs' actual cabin is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so, but we feel like that as the square has progressed, there's been a lot more investment there, a lot more businesses there, that this is a way we can help progress the square as well.
And at the time, which was many years ago, it really did contribute to the aesthetics of the square.
Yeah.
Just over the past 20 years, we've really focused on revitalizing the square, and it's just different than it was. So
it is.
Hopefully, we'll be able to find a location to move it to and still preserve it. And I think we have about 1 minute. If there's anything else that you wanted to touch on.
I will say this. There are a lot of events happening out there in the city that are great. The Historic Lebanon, you just mentioned, had their farm to table event on Cumberland's campus just a week or so ago. That was a great event. But something I got to do recently that was really fun was Christine Roundtree has a history club for homeschool students. Oh. And I got to go give them a little history lecture last week. So, that got me back into that mindset a little bit.
College professor days at Cumberland University as a historian.
So that was fun. It was at Fiddler's Grove and out there at the Opry stage, and it was really cool. I think the kids enjoyed it. I hope they did. I certainly did. And it was really a fun event. And so there are a lot of things happening out there. I just want people to know there's tons of events happening. If you want, we had the beer fest the other day on the square. There's a lot going on in Lebanon, a lot of things people do, so get out there and enjoy it.
Absolutely. It's a wonderful place to be, and we appreciate you being with us this morning, Mayor Rick Bell. Thank you all for being with us today. Coleman will be back in a few weeks, and that's it for Wednesday. I hope that you will join us tomorrow. This is Tracy Pope filling in for Coleman Walker. Join us tomorrow for Thursday's edition, and until then, we wish you a wonderful Wednesday right here on FM 98.9.